Pierre Poilievre once again humiliating a reporter who has accusatory questions. I saw this meme circling around on the internet. It's the liberals bring Hillary Clinton to their convention, and the NDP brings Bernie Sanders to their convention, and they accuse Pierre of bringing American-style politics to Canada. Well, the only American-style politics that have been coming in, well, obviously in their parties, but it's coming from the news. It's coming from the news. This is from Pierre Poilievre's channel. How do you like them apples? As he's being interviewed by a reporter here while chewing on an apple. It's really funny. I'm not going to show the whole thing. It's a two-part video, almost 10 minutes each one. But there's a good clip here from Twitter. Pierre humiliates left-wing journalist, casually flips script on him while eating an apple. This is how it's done. Well, I'll just play it here.
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Well, appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean, certainly you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Example?
Left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type of ideological spectrum.
I never really talk about left or right.
Anyways, I don't
really believe in that.
Okay. A lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians.
So I just want to point this out. A good tactic that the news media has been using for years and years and years is some people say, experts are saying, and then they insert their own opinion into that. There's no experts saying this. There's, some people say, well, yeah, maybe some people. Who? It's you. It's the reporter himself. This is how they do this, and it is a left-wing tactic. I don't know. It's not a left or right-wing tactic. It is just a tactic to try to foist onto somebody else your opinion and have them accept that in the premise of a question, and then go on to ask the question, to which later they can say, see, he accepted it. He's full on for that. Anyway, I'll let this continue.
But
like who?
I don't know who, but
well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
You must know somebody.
Okay, I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question.
Some people say. See, he even said that. Some people say, because it's become a trope now. Some people say this thing. It doesn't mean it's true. It means this is some people say. Next is my opinion, right? It's not some people. It's the reporter's opinion.
I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given, not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
what are you
also
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me a page? Give me the page. You keep saying
in terms of turning
Which
things
page?
quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So
this is funny because he keeps getting likened to Donald Trump. I don't see the similarities. Leave a comment in the comment section down below if you see similarities between Pierre Poilievre and Trump. I mean, other than the fact of being able to, on a dime, say exactly what he means, have good comebacks, things like that. Is that Donald Trump? Is that Donald Trump politics? I mean, he doesn't talk about immigration, which I think a lot of Canadians would like if he did talk about immigration. I think he's staying away from that one because of the whole comparison to Donald Trump. But this is it's a thing that keeps being said on media publications, but somebody needs to point this one out to me because I just don't see the connection. Anyway, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think on that one, but let's hear what else he has to say.
I'm
not sure. I don't know what your question is.
Then forget that. Why should Canadians trust you with their vote?
Common sense. Okay. Common sense for a change. We're going to make common sense common in this country. We don't have any common sense in the current government. The guy prints $600 billion, grows our money supply by 32% in 3 years. That's growing the money 8 times faster than the economy. No wonder we have the worst inflation in 4 decades. I'm going to cap spending, cut waste, so that we can balance the budget and bring down inflation and interest rates. You'll want to be able to pay your mortgage again? You want to be able to afford rent? Then you have to vote for Pierre Poilievre, because I'm the only one with a common sense plan that will bring back the buying power of your paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, I've been preaching this stuff on the channel for some time. When you increase the money supply, I mean, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to look at this chart and go, "Whoa, something happened there." What? Right around the time of COVID, kapow. I mean, obviously we were going up in spending, but then what happened? Yeah, we inflated the ever living crap out of the economy, or out of our dollar here in Canada. So of course prices will go up, and then obviously on top of that, adding more taxes to things. Transportation, when you add taxes to transportation, everything goes up. Absolutely. Now, this is just astonishing that people don't get this. And, Canadians have always bragged about our education system being better than the United States. But I mean, really? Is it really at this point? We've got Tim Poole pointing out this girl in Canada who's commenting on the inflation, the cost of groceries. Tim Poole says, to understand our predicament, listen to her blame the grocery store for higher prices.
I just went to the grocery store. First mistake. In Toronto. I went to fucking Loblaws. Fuck you, Loblaws. I thought I was gonna get a lunch. I thought I was gonna get a little side salad and a piece of meat. I was like, that's reasonable. Like, that's doable. We're not gonna break the bank. We're gonna get a couple greens and a salad. Sorry, a couple greens and some meat. Can you tell me why, Loblaws? You know the containers that are this size for the side salads, like in the pre-made section? You know how much they're charging for these? Close to $15. Every single one on the shelf was $12 to $15. I go to the meat section because I'm like, hey, I'm not getting a salad. That's the whole budget for lunch right there. Go to the meat section. I was like, maybe a beef rib. I haven't had beef in fucking weeks, months. $25 for 2 pieces of beef ribs. I literally just got a water bottle. That's all I could get for lunch. And I'm just going to eat scraps that I have at home. Why is it $40? For a salad and a piece of meat? I'd rather go to the fucking keg at this point and get a quality steak.
Because you're going to go to the keg after your tips and taxes and all of that stuff and get a quality steak and salad. I doubt it. You're looking at a minimum of $60 to $70 for a steak dinner like that at the keg. But where are you getting those ideas? Well, it's coming right from the top. It's coming from Jagmeet Singh, the leader of the co-leader of the coalition NDP Liberal government here, grilling CEOs of grocery stores, blaming them for the rising prices in food.
Right now, we're not just going through unprecedented period of cost of living crisis. We have families going into your stores, looking at the price of items, looking at them and putting them back because they can't afford them. We have families that are struggling to buy food for their kids in this country, in a G7 country. And they look at you and they see you making record profits. How could you justify that when families are struggling to put food on the table for their kids?
Thank you. We feel and understand that 95% of Canadians are concerned about food prices. But grocery chain profits are not the reason for food inflation. And as I mentioned...
Profit is too much profit.
Well, as he cuts him off, yeah, grocery store profits are not the reason for food inflation. No, the rising costs of everything. Everything's going up, and meanwhile, this government is putting taxes on fuel, more and more taxes on fuel, more and more taxes on fertilizer, more and more taxes on all of the things that bring food to the grocery store, right from the farm to the grocery store. And if the grocery stores are making record profit, even though they're selling at the same margins, perhaps it's all the new mouths in this country because of the immigration policies of this government, as they're bringing more and more and more and more people into this country at a time that we can't afford it. But where does this guy get it? Well, he's learned it from the best.
Brothers and sisters, as a longtime fan of the NDP and as a Vermont neighbor of yours, thank you very much for inviting me to say a few words to you. My message is pretty simple, and that is that we are now living in the most difficult period in modern history.
Yeah, I'd love to thank you for that, Mr. Socialist, and all the people with the ideas of inflating the currency. Spend, 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 spend some more, and that's the way we're gonna get out of this stuff. But this is how this is the mentality that's been going into this, and it's even been pushing into social media. People are saying this all over the place. Young people just are economically completely illiterate, saying things like, we need universal basic income. A universal basic income. How are you going to get that? Well, I'm going to tell you a little secret. The government doesn't have any money. So when they want to spend money, they have to borrow to spend that money, unless they can tax you for it. So instead of taxing you for it, because if they raise their taxes, well, that would suck. So what they do is they just print more money instead of borrowing and instead of taxing the base. But what it is it's an inflation tax, because at some point you realize the prices all rise, because you can't just make money out of nothing. And this is what our government has been doing with the monetary supply, making money out of nothing. But this is what we get, and this is what we deserve if we're too dumb and we still keep voting for governments like this, and we don't put the pressure on the governments to actually change their ways. Now, Pierre Poilievre seems like a guy who's talking about this, and he knows exactly what we need to do. Whether or not he's willing to do that when he does get into government is, well, that's another story altogether. But let me know in the comments down below. He does know how to talk a big game, and he does know how to take on reporters that want to just slander the guy. But yeah, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of all the things that I spoke about in this video. And of course, we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.